Hi, Lee Phillips here. Yep, I'm still working on the law stuff. Let me answer a question for you. The question reads, I have commercial properties and residential properties and stocks. Just wondering, if I set up an irrevocable trust, am I still allowed to sell my property or stocks and use it if I wanted during my lifetime? Am I still able to use my bank account money? Should I set up an LLC before I set up an irrevocable trust? The question is, why are you setting up an irrevocable trust? The common reasons are to get assets out of your estate. You might note that if I set up an irrevocable trust to get assets out of my estate for estate tax purposes, then I have to give up those assets. They go to the beneficiaries. In fact, when I put the assets into the trust, that's a gift to the beneficiaries. There might be gift tax consequences, but we can get assets out of your estate for estate tax purposes. And no, you cannot sell those assets. You cannot use those assets. They're not your assets. In fact, you're usually not the trustee. You want an independent trustee. Because if you have any of what the IRS says are incidents of ownership over those assets, you know you can sell them, you can use them for your benefit, whatever. If you have any ownership in those assets that are in the living revocable trust, then that brings it back into your estate. Now, you aren't totally worried about estate taxes at the moment, because as I do this video, you can pass $12,060,000. Yes, this is 2022. And you can pass that much federal no estate tax. Some of you have state estate taxes, and we can use the irrevocable trust to get assets out for state estate tax purposes too. But I've had COVID. I hate this. I just keep coughing and coughing and coughing, but we're doing it. So, and some of you understand. But at any rate, no, you're not going to use the assets in the irrevocable trust. There are irrevocable trusts that you can set up that are called asset protection trusts. And there are 10, 15 states that have asset protection trust laws. The first one was in Alaska. They're called Alaskan trusts, legacy trusts, heritage trusts. There are a number of names for them. But the state says you can set up an irrevocable trust and get the assets away from your creditors, and you can still have the benefit. There's always a waiting period and stuff. That's another story. But generally, an irrevocable trust, no, you can't use the assets. You don't have the assets. And the question is, should I set up an LLC before I set up an irrevocable trust? I think you're going to use an LLC in preference to an irrevocable trust today. You can still move assets. You can still benefit people. You can still manage them. The stock that you own in the LLC, the membership interest, whatever percentage that is, that percentage of the assets in the LLC will be in your estate when you die. But the other percentages of the LLC ownership that you gave away, those are outside of your estate, even though you're still managing the assets. I like the LLC better than the irrevocable trusts for lots of reasons. There are reasons for irrevocable trusts. There are reasons for LLCs. The question is, what do you want to do? You can get my free ebook on how to use a trust. That'll help explain a lot of this. And the concept of trusts, same, whether you have an irrevocable trust or a revocable trust. The revocable trust you're going to use for estate planning. We have decided we're going to put out more stuff on the wills and the trusts and the estate planning stuff. So register, subscribe, ring the bell, toot the horn, whatever you do on this thing, and we will get you more information about the trust, the wills, the durable powers, all the estate planning stuff. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, use an irrevocable trust if you want to, but in most cases, today I would use an LLC actually. Lee Phillips talking on can I sell property out of an irrevocable trust.